Coming up next on the Daily O, Mike Gundy speaks with the media about the upcoming TCU matchup on Saturday. Find out what he had to say. Cowboy baseball returned to the field last night to match off against the Texas Rangers, who came out on top of that one. Find out all of this and more. This is the Daily O. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Daily O. I'm Emma Lightfoot. Thanks for joining us today on this very windy Tuesday. Let's get right into all things sports. Oklahoma State football continues to prepare themselves for an undefeated showdown in Texas against TCU. Yesterday afternoon, head coach Mike Gundy met with the media to discuss the upcoming matchup.
We thought he played good. Played 104 plays, which is not easy, but competed. They did go after him. He held his own and played a good football game. Was competitive. This team's good on offense. I mean, they're throwing the deep ball really well. The quarterback has come into his own in the last 3 or 4 weeks. I think he's that fast. He's playing good. So we'll have to really have a good game plan. Our guys have to play well, have to be really competitive. We're getting a lot of young guys reps, and they're gaining valuable experience. I like that part. I'm not fired up about young guys gaining experience on the run like we are, but that's what's happening right now. I think you're seeing a different offensive approach in the league this year than you saw in the last few years, and that's going to factor into what some people would consider overall defensive statistics. They're not going to look as good this year for anybody, in my opinion. We do a better job of meshing up the quarterback in our pass rush to try to contain him a little better. It may not be easy to get to some of those throws, but I was pleased with the overall coverage and what we did with the amount of times they threw the ball. Great toward a positive force, and that's what happens here. That's the luxury of me being here almost 19 years. Difference than when you're just starting a program or you don't have continuity with your staff. Then it becomes more of an issue in trying to get them to understand what actually our goals are. And it's not 100%, but it gives you the best chance. Need to run the ball better. Need to block better, run the ball better. But we practice 1s and 2s and 3s. Our 3s get the same number of reps that our 1s that get. That's one thing that I learned. I've said many times, I learned that young kids in those 3s in practice, when we went 11 on 11, they got around 425 snaps. That my first 15 years of coaching, I'm guessing the 3s probably got 50, 60, something like that. We just didn't do much of it. That was a mistake on my part. And so now those guys get quality work because we all know that a 3 comes to 2 real quick, and then the 2 that's out there gets tired and he taps out, the 3 goes in. I think so. I mean, I think you get when you have a lot of hype, you get there's a feeling in pregame warm-up that's different than without that. That the NFL, there's so much parity, and that's what's trickling down to college because of NIL and the portal. That's why you're seeing things that are starting to level out now, because guys are bouncing around in the portal, quarterbacks are bouncing around. I interviewed 3 times with the one team, and then didn't take the job.
Who was it?
Well, I don't know if they want me to say or not. It was Tampa Bay. They ended up hiring.
The Cowboys and Horned Frogs are set for a 2:30 p.m. kickoff on ABC. It's been a wild season so far for Big 12 football. Before we move into Week 6 of the college football season, it's time to finally review all that went down through Week 5. Carson Fabian has your Week 5 Big 12 football roundup.
What a week in Big 12 football, from the Red River Showdown to the only remaining undefeated teams facing off next week. But first, number 20 Kansas State survives Iowa State in Ames, improving to a 5-1 record. Adrian Martinez had 323 total yards and the only touchdown of the game with an 81-yard bomb to Phillip Brooks. Speaking of teams in Kansas, number 17 Jayhawks faced off in an offensive shootout against the 19 TCU Horned Frogs in Lawrence, where Max Duggan handed the Jayhawks their first loss of the season with a game-sealing 24-yard touchdown to Quentin Johnson, winning 38-31. Now, to the Red River Showdown, a highly anticipated rivalry game every year played in the Cotton Bowl. OU looking to recover after back-to-back losses and return to a winning record, while Texas was looking to continue its winning streak after beating West Virginia last week. OU's offense looked lost, not being able to get on the board all game and throwing 2 interceptions, while Quinn Ewers looks like the quarterback answer Texas needs to get back into the Big 12 championship conversation, throwing for 289 yards and 4 touchdowns, defeating the Sooners 49-0. Going over to Stillwater, where the number 7 OSU Cowboys played Texas Tech. Trailing 24-20 at halftime, the Raiders were being led by backup quarterback Beverin Morton, who played exceptionally well for his first career start, throwing for 379 yards and 2 touchdowns, but it wasn't enough to stop the Cowboys' second-half effort, coming back and taking down the Raiders 41-31. This week, coming up for the Big 12, Baylor faces off against West Virginia. The OU Sooners look to snap their 3-game losing streak against the number 19 Jayhawks, and Iowa State looks to get their first win in Big 12 play against the number 22 Texas Longhorns. The remaining undefeated teams face off with the number 8 Oklahoma State Cowboys going down to Fort Worth to play the number 13 TCU Horned Frogs to determine who will be the top-ranked team in the Big 12. Reporting from Ocali TV, this is Karsten Fabi.
Let's take a quick break, but when we come back, Cowboy baseball matched up last night against the Texas Rangers scout team. Find out who came out on top, as well as your national headlines in the sporting world. The Daily O will be right back.
I'm Kristen Hawkins. I went to Oklahoma State University here in Stillwater in 99 to 2004. I've always felt like Stillwater needed more family-friendly things to do, and we have opened up AR Workshop. We do everything from knitting blankets that can be done in a 3-hour class. We create doormats and porch signs, the Christmas wreaths with our yarn that we use for the blankets. We also do, we just started a new project for gnomes. We've done pumpkins during the fall, but our big thing that we do here are interior signs. Our designs are extremely unique to our workshop. Customers come in, everything is here for them to do. They create everything. They can be as hands-on as they want. They came in here to relax and have fun, and that they are proud of their project that they've made.
Pecans are staple to Oklahoma. In fact, many of our native pecans come from trees that are older than Oklahoma statehood.
My father's the one that got us started into the pecan picking. I was probably 10 or 12 years old, and we started off with one little mechanical picker that you pulled behind a four-wheeler. Then we'd go home at night and we'd clean them on a TV tray. I guess watching my dad work hard when we were young, and people started trusting him and getting more and more groves, we just kept growing.
Being a relatively new and fresh company, we get to sit in the same room with people who have been a part of the Oklahoma economy for decades.
It's opened a lot of doors. It's gave us quite a bit of exposure, and I think people, will take a small company like us a little more serious. We're just going to continue growing as long as our community lets us and our customers keep on buying, and we'll see where it takes us.
Over the years, we kind of realized that you can get ribs anywhere, you can get a steak anywhere, but you can't always get a Mountain View hot link like ours. So we really decided to focus on that niche and realized we had something really special. So that's when we started focusing more on the hot links, but it's still the same family recipe they were making all those years ago. For us, many of our people that work here have been with us for years and decades. So whereas machines kind of break down over time, the people just get better. And it shows in the products we produce. When you buy a Mountain View product, not only is it going to taste dynamite, but you're also feeding Oklahomans. You're helping employ Oklahomans, and you're helping to fund the state's economy. So what's better than that?
Welcome back to the Daily O. Moving over into your national headlines throughout the sporting world, golfer Dustin Johnson will be the first individual champion in the LIV golf season. There is still another tournament to be played this weekend in Saudi Arabia, but it's impossible for anyone to overcome Johnson's point lead. That means he'll definitely win the $18 million prize. Johnson's move from the PGA to the LIV has been controversial, as it has been for many golfers. The league is funded by money from Saudi financiers, which has split many professional golfers and other stakeholders on its legitimacy. The PGA currently bans any LIV golfers from participating in its tour. Alabama quarterback Bryce Young may be making his return to the gridiron this week. Head coach Nick Saban said on Monday that Young's passing shoulder was reevaluated and that hopefully the reigning Heisman winner can return for this week's clash at number 6 ranked Tennessee Volunteers. Both teams are undefeated heading into Saturday's Showdown in Knoxville, Tennessee. Alabama is ranked number 3. Young missed last Saturday's narrow win over Texas A&M with shoulder soreness. He sustained a sprained AC joint in the October 1st game against Arkansas. Young was a game-time decision against the Aggies. He was in uniform but never entered the game. The 2021 Heisman Trophy winner, Young has passed for over 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions this season. A big loss for the Charlotte Hornets before the NBA regular season tips off. Hornets all-star point guard LaMelo Ball suffered a grade 2 ankle sprain in the third quarter of a 116-107 preseason loss against the Washington Wizards. Ball is considered the centerpiece of the Hornets offense, averaging over 20 points per game while tallying near 8 assists and 7 rebounds per game. Charlotte opens the regular season October 19th against the San Antonio Spurs. Back to OSU athletics, Cowboy baseball was in action for the first time this fall as the Texas Rangers scout team came to Stillwater. Our own Tyler Tripodi has the latest.
OSU baseball is back with a bang as the Cowboys bats were electric tonight in a win over the Texas Rangers scout team. But the real story of the game was the energy inside the stadium. We were able to talk to a couple of fans, and boy, were they excited for baseball to be back.
Oh, it's amazing. We love it. We bought season tickets last year, and we got them again this year.
They were not alone in their excitement as the Cowboys' home crowd came out in droves to support their team. As the game progressed, fans poured in and the atmosphere became even more electric.
You know, it's great. What a beautiful night we've got for baseball. It's awesome, and I'm shocked at the crowd. There's quite a few people here.
And while some fans planned to come see the game, others found themselves in the area and decided to stop by and join the crowd.
There's lots of fans here. You know, I was playing tennis right across the street here. I didn't even know there's a baseball game tonight, but I'm a type of person that'll come to any sporting event, so I walked over and I'm watching baseball tonight.
Watching baseball may have been the best decision of the night as those in attendance were rewarded with a great game from the Cowboys, with Warren Watts-Brown taking the mound and striking out the side in the first, followed up by a Tyler Wolfert 2-out grand slam to give the Cowboys a lead they would never give up. Tyler Wolfert ended the day 3 of 4, and he was one of 2 Cowboys to record a home run. Home run number 2 came from none other than last season's home run leader for the Cowboys, Nolan McLean. McLean returned right back to form coming off his All-American season in the spring. He had a 2-run home run in the 6th to put the Cowboys up 6-1. Rock Riggio was also able to tack on some insurance runs in the 8th with a 2-run single to center field. With 10 different pitchers entering for OSU over the course of the game, the Cowboys were able to get great looks against pro talent, and they were also able to show off their defensive chops, with some great plays in the infield, including a rundown off a comebacker snagged by Baden Root. The Cowboys would go on to win the game 8-1, which generated even more buzz and excitement for the upcoming season.
Oh, I'm really excited for him. I came to a lot of games. My dad played college baseball, so he comes down to Stillwater to watch lots of games with me, so I'm excited for that.
With the first game of the new year in the books, the Cowboys will now begin to gear up and get ready for the spring season as they look to get back to the College World Series. Reporting from O'Brate Stadium, Tyler Tripodi, Ocala TV.
Thanks, Tyler. Moving on to more OSU athletics. Cowgirl Golf put together a solid outing yesterday at the Illini Women's Invitational in Illinois. One cowgirl in particular put on a show. Junior Madison Henson Tolchard carded a 65 on the day and helped the Cowgirls land at 11th place after the second day of competition. Henson Tolchard finished the day at 9 under par and will head to the final round just 2 strokes back from the individual lead, while tied for 4th. Henson Tolchard's 65-stroke day was a personal best for the standout and was also a good enough effort to tie the 3rd lowest round in program history. It's time for another break, but when the Daily O comes back, let's take a dive into the sporting world and all the national sports fared last night. The Daily O will be right back.
Tucked away in the city of Ripley, Oklahoma, The award-winning Washington Irving Trail Museum showcases the heritage and history of Payne County. This museum holds antiques, treasures, and artifacts that one cannot find at any other museum. With hundreds of historical antiques that display OSU history, along with Native American history, the museum has it all. The museum is well known for their book containing pictures and news articles about Frank Eaton, the original Pistol Pete. Dale Kluber opened Washington Irving Trail Museum in 1994 with his collection of historical mementos. This museum is filled from wall to wall with Oklahoman history. The Washington Irving Trail Museum is 15 minutes outside of Stillwater. Experience history at one of Oklahoma's hidden gems.
Hi everybody, my name is Emily Shooping. I'm your marketing coordinator for the Made in Oklahoma Coalition. I'm coming to you with an amazing opportunity. We are teaming up with the Oakhally Media Group at Oklahoma State University. We want to tell your story on the following platforms: streaming, newspaper, and digital. This opportunity will not only allow your story to be told locally, but nationally as well. I am so excited for each of you to join in on this tremendous opportunity. This will not only be good for your business, but it will be good for our great state of Oklahoma. You can be expecting an email from me soon with more details about this opportunity. Local has a name, local has a face, local has a flavor. The Made in Oklahoma Coalition.
You may have been to casinos at some point in your life, but do you really know the truth behind the game you're playing?
And the casinos were very polemic or very controversial when they came out. But the truth was, that's all the federal government gave us.
Casino is owned by the Chickasaw Nation and has roughly 600,000 square feet of dedicated gambling space, making it the world's largest casino. It contributed massively to the Chickasaw Nation, posting a net revenue of $1.4 billion for the fiscal year of 2017.
Welcome back to the Daily O. Let's get you caught up on what happened in last night's Monday Night Football game between AFC West rivals Kansas City Chiefs and Las Vegas Raiders. The Chiefs pulled off a close victory, 30-29, on the back of tight end Travis Kelce, who scored 4 touchdowns on the night. It was all Las Vegas for the first part of the game, scoring 17 unanswered points, including a 58-yard touchdown reception from Davante Adams on a 4th and close situation. Kelce scored his first touchdown in the latter part of the second quarter off a quick throw from Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes to put the Chiefs on the board. Kelce proceeded to score 2 touchdowns in the third quarter to put the Chiefs ahead. After a field goal from Raiders kicker Daniel Carlson made the score 24-23 in Kansas City's favor, Kelce scored again halfway through the fourth. The Raiders had plenty of time for a comeback, and Adams once again came up big with a 48-yard touchdown reception, but the Raiders failed to convert the 2-point conversion. That proved to be the difference maker in this game, as when the Raiders had possession again, Adams and Hunter Renfrow collided downfield on 4th and 1, which allowed the Chiefs to run out the clock. The Chiefs moved to the AFC Best 4-1 record, while the Raiders dropped to 1-4. After the game, Adams was visibly upset while walking to the Raiders' locker room and appeared to shove a cameraman crossing his path. The cameraman reportedly went to a local Kansas City hospital and has formally filed a police report against Adams. Authorities said they are reviewing the incident to see whether charges apply. Adams has been apologetic in post-game interviews and on Twitter this morning, though it could mean a suspension for the receiver. To stay up to date with this story, be sure to tune into the Daily O for more information. Switching gears to preseason basketball, the Oklahoma City Thunder will compete in its 5th preseason game, traveling up to Detroit to take on the Pistons. The Thunder have looked good through 4 games, racking up a 3-1 record to start preseason play, and are coming off a big win against Israeli National League team Maccabi Ra'anana. The Thunder are facing former OSU Cowboy and number 1 overall pick Cade Cunningham, who is entering his second year in the league. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m. and will be televised on Bally Sports and on the Thunder app. The National Hockey League is set to commence its new season tonight with a doubleheader between the Tampa Bay Lightning and New York Rangers, followed by the Los Angeles Kings taking on the Las Vegas Golden Knights. The match between Tampa Bay and New York is a rematch from last season's Eastern Conference Finals, in which the Rangers blew a 2-game series lead to the Lightning, who won 4 straight to win the Prince of Wales Trophy and moved on to the Stanley Cup Finals for its 3rd season in a row, ultimately losing to the Colorado Avalanche. The Kings of Los Angeles look to build on what was a surprisingly solid season last year, in which they reached the first round of the playoffs. It's a different story for Vegas, as the Golden Knights are looking to get back on track after missing the playoffs last season for the first time in franchise history. Puck drop for Tampa Bay and New York is scheduled for 6:30 p.m., with Las Vegas starting at 9 p.m. Both games will be televised on ESPN. It's time for one last break, but when we come back, it's time to turn back the clocks to see what went down on this day in sports history, as well as some athlete birthdays to celebrate. We'll be right back.
I'm Kristen Hawkins. I went to Oklahoma State University here in Stillwater in 99 to 2004. I've always felt like Stillwater needed more family-friendly things to do, and we have opened up AR Workshop. We do everything from knitting blankets that can be done in a 3-hour class. We create doormats and porch signs, the Christmas wreaths with our yarn that we use for the blankets. We also do, we just started a new project for gnomes. We've done pumpkins during the fall, but our big thing that we do here are interior signs. Our designs are extremely unique to AR Workshop. Customers come in, everything is here for them to do. They create everything. They can be as hands-on as they want. They came in here to relax and have fun, and that they are proud of their project that they've made.
A Golf Digest 5-star course, best new public course won and opened in 1994, and a top 100 public golf course in America since 2003. This course, just 5 miles outside of Stillwater, Oklahoma on Highway 51, is named after one of the influential golf pioneers this game has known.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek's a modern golf course.
The beauty of the course is in large part to the elements of the grounds. The Georgia fairway is transformed from its original forested landscape. Georgia was used to combat the tough winters so golfers could play year-round. The greens are large and sloping bent grass hills. The low-cut bent grass can be similar to glass during peak championship conditions. The bunkers surrounding most holes remind golfers of a white beach rather than a deep hazard. Lake Louise, surrounded by the second 9, completes the perfect finishing hole. The long par 72 course perfectly combines nature with the difficulty of a championship course. Karsten's added challenge is the Oklahoma wind.
So there aren't any other schools in the country that have that same commitment to college golf as we do here at Oklahoma State.
But if you're going to play at the highest level, you've got to be able to focus on where you want to go, and Karsten Creek does a good job of training you to do that, because if you don't, you're going to have a long day. And that's a great legacy that Coach Holder left, because that's the way he coached.
Welcome back to the Daily O. Before we call it a day, let's get you up to speed on what happened on this day in sports history. Let's take a look back to just 2 years ago in 2020, when 3-time defending champion Rafael Nadal won the men's singles competition of the French Open After defeating Novak Djokovic in 3 sets, with the win, Nadal earned his 13th French Open title and his 4th in a row, while also serving as his 20th Grand Slam title. Nadal is currently at 14 French Open championships, as well as 22 major titles added to his decorated career. Moving down to the hardwood, where also on this day in 2020, the Los Angeles Lakers defeated the Miami Heat in Game 6 of the NBA Finals to win the franchise's 17th title. LeBron James was named the Finals MVP for his performance, leading the Lakers with just less than 30 points per game, as well as averaging double-digit rebounds and just over 8 assists. It was James's 4th time winning the championship and MVP award, and he became the first player in NBA history to be named Finals MVP for 3 teams. Also on this day, the New York Giants played the first game in franchise history, losing to Providence 14-0. Now it's time for some birthday shout-outs to some of our favorite athletes. Starting with Hall of Fame quarterback Steve Young. Widely regarded as the best left-handed quarterback of all time, Young is a Super Bowl MVP after leading the San Francisco 49ers to its 5th Super Bowl win and throwing 6 touchdowns in the process. A 2-time league MVP, and at the time of his retirement, he had the highest passer rating among NFL quarterbacks, with at least 1,500 passing attempts. Young was inducted to the NFL Hall of Fame in 2005. Today is also Terrell, Suggs, and TJ Watt's birthdays. Suggs was a standout linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens for 16 years and is the franchise's leader in sacks. He also played for the Kansas City Chiefs and Arizona Cardinals. Suggs is a 7-time Pro Bowl selection, a 2-time All-Pro, and was named NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 2011. Suggs has won 2 Super Bowls in his career, Super Bowl 48 in 2012 with the Ravens, and Super Bowl 54 in 2019 with the Chiefs. Suggs is 8th in the NFL's all-time sacks list, and 1st all-time in tackles for loss. Watt is an outside linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is a Defensive Player of the Year recipient after a historic 2021 season, in which he tied the single-season NFL record for most quarterback sacks in a season, matching Michael Strahan's 22.5 sack record that was set back in 2001. That'll do it for this Tuesday edition of the Daily O. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to come back tomorrow as Aaron Gonders will have you covered on everything you need to know that's going on in the sporting world. For the Daily O, I'm Emma Lightfoot. Good night, everyone.
Hi, I'm Shauna here at Where the Buffalo Roam in beautiful downtown Pawnee, Oklahoma. We have a lot of beautiful and unique items for sale in the store, but our number 1 items are Navajo jewelry, Pendleton blankets, and Consuela. It's a great place to shop, a beautiful downtown, so come see us in Pawnee, Oklahoma.
My name's Kayla. I've been here since the beginning, so 4 years. Scratch is more focused on farm and mostly made in Oklahoma products, keeping it local. Sustainability is our biggest thing. That's one of the reasons why this place opened.
I've been the chef here at Scratch for 2.5 years. Started here as a line cook. Our food and drinks are a bit separate entities almost inside the restaurant. So the food is now up to 85% of the products we bring in are raised or grown locally. It's all based off of things that I grew up eating in southern Oklahoma, the things my grandparents ate.
Fresh food, clean food, organic food, sustainability, that's all of our thing. From front of house to back of house, we're able to maintain both with freshness. But made in Oklahoma means we get it straight from the farms that are 20, 30 minutes, another little county away. We get it straight from them.
A
Ace in the Bowl Salsa started many, many years ago. I was trying to find a recipe to take to a family gathering, and so I started messing around with different recipes, and I took a little bit from here and a little bit from there, and I came up with a salsa that is truly unique. Ace in the Bowl Salsa is an olive oil based salsa with tomatoes, green chilies, green onions, and black olives. There's no sugar added, it's gluten free, low calorie, low carb, low fat, low sodium. So it's a very, very, very good alternative to any snack you may want. As of right now, I'm just looking to be in Oklahoma and having a successful business within the state. If my grandkids could ever take it over when they're old enough, that would be my dream.